YouTube, we back, man. Back with another video. This is gonna be episode number 4. If you've been rocking with me along this journey, along this process of just my early YouTube career, I definitely appreciate y'all. Again, I've been on social media this month, but I could just see I have a lot of DMs and email notifications of people reaching out. I've seen some of the comments and likes, so yeah, man, today's not going to be a super long video. Today's going to actually be more of an inspirational, motivating kind of video. For episode 4, I actually want to talk about how I got reconnected and I found my mom after 24 years, man. 24 long years. But before I do all that, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, like the video, dislike the video if you don't like something or felt like I can do something better. Any tips or suggestions would be dope as I continue to try to navigate my early YouTube career. But if you know me, we always gotta like start at the beginning. If you haven't watched episode 1 or 2 or 3, I was born July 15th, 1993, and my real name is Deshaun Dorian Roberts. At birth, I almost didn't make it. I was premature, I was 3 pounds. Born with alcoholism and cocaine, crack, like anything that my mom did in the 90s, I was pretty much born with it. So I wasn't really given a strong chance coming into this world. And that would also be the reason why I was separated from my family at birth. Born in Brooklyn, New York. If you want to know more how I got to like being adopted and foster care, definitely go watch episode the earlier episodes before this one. But if I could just, recall and just think about my early stages, I'm not gonna lie, when I got to my adopted home, I thought one of my foster moms was my real mother, just being honest. I thought one of my foster moms was my real mom. And I found out probably like around the age of like 9 or 10 that that wasn't my mom this whole time. So one thing about growing up in my adopted home, my adopted mom had a rule meaning pretty much saying that we can't see our birth certificate until we turn to the age of 18. I don't think that was a foster care rule. I think that was just her rule. We were not allowed to see our birth certificates until we turn 18. So knowing me as a kid, I've always been somebody that I want answers, or I want to know why, or I want to know like why. Like I don't take no as an answer, or I don't take this is the only way as an answer. And I've always been that way since I was a kid. And when I found out that my mom wasn't one of the foster moms that I went to, I was kind of just a young man on a hunt. I am 1 out of 6 kids adopted under the Drummonds, but 2 of those kids are my blood related. And my brother and my sister, they did not care about finding information about our mother or any of those kind of things. But I always just wanted to know, because family is big to me. It always was big to me when I was younger. And I just wanted to know, where I got my looks from, where I got my emotions from, where I got my attitude from, where did I get my height from, where did I get some of these natural talents from. I didn't have any photos. I didn't have any pictures. I didn't have like nothing as a kid growing up. There was really nothing for me to look upon or look forward to, because we didn't have nothing. All I was always told was your mother did drugs. You was born with drugs in your system. That's the reason why you bounced around to foster care. So that was always my image and my knowledge for majority of my life as a kid. So, fast forward, guess what's the first thing I asked for when I turned 18 on my 18th birthday? I asked for my birth certificate. And when she gave it to me, I went to my bedroom, locked the door, and it was like cracking the Da Vinci Code, man. Like I got to see like my full real name. I got to see like the name of my mom. Like I didn't have no name for my mother for 18 years. So I got to see her name was Adrienne Dolores Roberts. Again, I was born Deshaun Dorian Roberts. I was like, okay. I got to see the hospital I was born in. I was born in Brookdale Medical Center in Brownsville, New York. I said, okay. And then I saw her birthday. Her birthday is a day before mine. She's July 14th. I'm July 15th. So I thought that was like pretty dope. I got to see the time I was born at. I think it was like around 4 a.m. So all that stuff was like so dope to me to know, even though I still didn't have photos and medical history and nationalities and that kind of stuff. But it was just like the start of a prayer that I just constantly been praying for as a young man and as a kid. And that literally just led to more of the hunt. So now being 18, seeing my birth certificate, there was no information about my dad on there. There was no names, no nothing, no resources. Going into college now and being a freshman in college, anybody that knows me from elementary school, middle school, and then for people who got to know me in college, that was kind of always my calling cards. Like, I'm adopted and I look forward to finding my mom one day. Like on some real like little Disney movie type thing. Like I was like, I'm gonna find my mom one day. I'm gonna find my mom one day. I'm gonna find her. So when I was 18 in my freshman year, my first girlfriend, shout out to Keisha, she was an upperclassman, 3 years older than me. She lived in Brooklyn. So one time I came home to my adopted mom and I was like, Mom, I found out there's like websites, if you pay a little money, it'll give you a little information about like your family history or those kind of things. So she spent like a good $100 on it and it unlocked some information. And it was like a few addresses to look at in Brooklyn. So I went to the library at my college. I made like mad copies of a letter. And one of them was like a house. One address was a house, and another address was a whole apartment complex. Again, shout out to Keisha. She went with me those days. I left letters in the mail of the house. I knocked, rang the doorbell, no one answered. Again, I'm 18 years old. Then I went to the apartment complex and I left letters by every freaking door, every floor in Brooklyn, New York. Again, shout out to the homie Keisha, man. I obviously did not hear nothing back. So, I was a little disappointed and I was a little sad. I was like hoping somebody would call the number that I left in the letter, but nothing transpired from that. And, now, as I'm navigating college and things like that, I won't say that I was giving up on trying to find her, but I kind of was just like losing a little bit of hope because, not many people that come from foster care or was adopted get to meet their parents or get to find their parents, right? You never really understand why God do certain things or why things happen on his timing. But in the most recent episode I talked about, in episode 3, I talked about like my college graduation experience and like life immediately after I graduated. So to kind of now fill you in and pick up from where I left off from episode 3, now being the young man, I'm living in Brentwood. I got my first apartment complex, not complex. I got my first basement apartment, and I'm paying $1,000 a month. I'm really stressed out. Life is going crazy. And I wanted to do something nice for myself. I wanted to celebrate this moment for me. It's my first apartment. So I did like a housewarming or apartment warming. And it was the first time like ever like trying to get people to come out and support me. And I made a registry list. I wasn't, too sure if who was gonna like pay for anything or nothing. And anybody knows me, I love throwing me a good game night. I love hosting. I love hosting events and hosting people at my place. And so I threw like a game night. I invited a lot of girls over. I invited a lot of men over, and it was, I made a whole little game night routine, boys versus girls. It was dope, man. It was a dope vibe. A long night full of lot of laughs and laughter. And as the night's coming to an end, at the time, it's me and a boy named Jay, somebody I used to be mad close with, and my best friend, one of my closest friends to this day, Eric. At the time, it was 3 of us. We was like our own little clique, and I called us the Three Kings, And long story short, everybody from the apartment warning went home. They ready, left and all that. It's just me, Eric, and my boy Jay downstairs in my living room. And Jay is just talking about how he found his dad on Facebook recently. Like he randomly found his dad on Facebook and how nerve-wracking that was for him. So I'm not gonna lie, as he's talking about that, something just told me that night, and that I gotta say that's probably God. Something just told me that night to go on Facebook and try. Because I tried the Facebook thing many times. I know I didn't say that previously, but I tried Facebook many times. I put the information in, nothing came up. So as he's talking about how he found his dad on Facebook, I said, you know what, let me just try. So I typed in Adrienne Dolores Roberts. I put the full name. Mad woman came up. It was hella white woman. No disrespect. Mad white woman. And I finally found one woman that wasn't white. She was black. So I said, all right, we're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. So I clicked on that. And then I said, you know what? Let me see if the bio says anything about like New York or Brooklyn, New York. The location bio said Brooklyn, New York. So I said, okay, we getting warmer. We're getting warmer. So then I said, you know what? If her birthday is July 14th, this has to be her. This has to be her. So I think the privacy settings didn't show that when her birthday was, but I could still see like her feed. So I said, you know what, let me keep scrolling down until I get to like posts from July and let me see if there's like mad birthday wishes on July 14th. I did mad scrolling. It's Facebook. I did mad scrolling. I got to July 14th and it was mad happy birthday wishes. And I'm not gonna lie, just to bring you to real time in the moment that was going on back in 2017 in February. I think it was February or March, one or two. While they're talking, I'm in my phone. And I think it just all hit me that like I found my mom. And I just start crying. And they're looking at me like, yo, this guy had maybe too much to drink, or like, yo, did he take a brownie or something or whatever? I'm a changed man. But I just start crying and they're like, yo, D, what's wrong? And I'm like, yo, I think like in tears though. I'm like in tears. And I felt safe because I'm with my two best friends at the time. I'm like, I think I found my mom, but I'm saying this crying. And like, I'm like, I think I found my mom. And they're like, nah, you dead ass. And I'm like, bro, I'm so serious, man. Like I'm freaking out and I'm crying. Like, I think I found my mom. So I think they both realized, yo, we're going to dip now. Let you just have this moment. And I'm just like, I'm nervous. Nervous. Did I say nervous? Nervous. I was mad nervous. I go to my bedroom and I'm just like, what do I do? Like, this is something you've been praying for your whole life. What do you do? Like, what do you do? And it just hit me. It hit me because I'm like, all right, what if I reach out and she doesn't want to? What if she doesn't want to meet me? What if she, what if she's the a-hole? What if she's just a whole itch? You know what I mean? Those kind of things. So I went to I messaged her and I introduced myself. Like, hey, my name's Dorian Deshaun Drummond, but I was born Deshaun Dorian Roberts. And I sent a photo of my birth certificate. And I said, I think you're my mom or something like that. And I just pretty much asked her, are you my mother? This probably had to be like midnight or 1, 2 in the morning. I woke up, I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and she responded back like, yes, I'm your mom. This is my phone number. Please give me a call. You have a sister too. And you have this is photos of your grandmother. And oh my God, I felt like a kid on Christmas. Like I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know how to react because again, this is just a moment that I thought I would never have. And I really just give all glory to God. I really give all glory for God because there's a lot of people that don't get that opportunity to meet their parents. You know what I'm saying? So I called her and it was so awkward, man. It was just so weird. And she's just like, I could tell she just wants to talk and meet. And for me, I just like, slow it down. Like, you know what I mean? Like on some first, like a girl on a first date type thing. Like let's slow it, let's relax. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot. I got to see the fullness of her. She's very rah-rah from the streets, obviously a recovering addict. So it was just for me not to judge because it's like you always wanted this moment. And with this, you have to embrace all of it. And we just chopped it up and she was just like, when am I going to see you? And I was just like, slow down. Let's get to know each other first before I feel comfortable enough seeing you. And she said, okay. And she was just very apologetic. And I just told her that I'm not mad. It's okay. Life happens. It is what it is. But let's just get to know each other. She was asking about my two siblings, and I'm like, that's not my place to tell you information about them. That's not my place to this and that. Because I think when we became friends, she went to see my friends list to see for Brandon and Erica, and she was able to find some of their profiles. And I was like, they need to come to you when they're ready. And you can't do that to them like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you information about my nieces and stuff like that. So, and I think in March, I met my older sister, who was too old to go in the system with us when we got separated. She was like 16, 17, so she wasn't allowed to go in foster care with the three of us. And then we met and got dinner at, I think it was Cheesecake Factory, or I forget, somewhere in Queens. And I met my cousin, and that was a weird interaction. Very rah-rah, just like, yo, why you don't act like a stranger? Like, it was just all like new to me. Almost done. And we fast forward now to the summer of July 2017. I just came back from Cancun. I was lit. I'm like, again, getting over the ex that I was on and off with. That she made an attempt back in my life. I took it back. It was a bad idea. So, you know, boy got hurt again. And then I was just like, yo, I'm turning up. I'm living my best life in Cancun. I might put up some photos for this video on there. So the day finally came when I'm like, you know what, let's meet. And we did it at my uncle's house, which is her older brother. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a very surreal feeling. Like, I was really nervous. I met a lot of people that day, and it was just weird. I met my grandmother's sisters, so like my great aunts. Everybody just wants to take photos. They want to hug me. And honestly, everything kind of just hit me, man. Like, they kind of was just telling me what happened at the beginning. They were in Brooklyn this whole time. They say they were looking for me, whether they believe it or not. But my name was changed, so it's probably hard to find out in the system when your name is changed. But they was in Brooklyn the whole time. They also said that somebody, other family, lived at the apartment complex where I would hand out all my letters that day, because I told them the address, and they were like, nobody told them. So it was just crazy. I took a lot of photos, and when I first met my mom, she was just like, come here, little N-word. And I'm just like, damn. Like, she wasn't crying. She just wanted to hug me. She wanted to catch up. She introduced it to me, everybody. I mean, cousins and this and that, yada, yada, yada. And long story short, the family cut her off. She was doing a lot in the streets. She had 4 baby daddies. They told me straight up, like, they didn't know she had another kid. And that kid was me. They knew about the first 3. They didn't know she had a number 4, because at that moment in time, family cut her off. And I was that kid. So when they're seeing me and all that, they didn't even know I exist until that day. So it's unreal. And, there was a moment, and I'll post a video in here, where it's like, me and her just starts dancing. And I'm not a dancer, but I like to say I got good feet. And we just start dancing with vibes. And I just needed that moment, man, and I'm totally grateful for it. And as I reflect back, and I'll say in a later episode, because she's no longer here with us. She passed away 2 years ago. She passed away 2 years ago yesterday, due to cancer. Just very grateful. And I'm not gonna lie, what that taught me at the time as a young man is that everything happens on God's timing. And good things really come to those who pray, who's diligent, and and you just don't lose hope. You don't lose hope. And if anybody that is in foster care or adopted and they want to meet their parents, I hope this video is an inspiration to you that, like, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Keep trying. You never know. But also be very open-minded what comes with that too. When I did meet her and I got introduced, I got to see all the ugliness. I got to see all the ugliness. I got to see all the scars. And it was a lot for me, because what I was expecting out of meeting her, she could not give me. And that led to disappointment early on. I was hoping it was going to be a motherly and son relationship, and she's going to love me and pour into me for all the years that we missed. And she was in no position to do that for me. So understand, if you want to find somebody from your bio family that you never met, you got to not only embrace the good, but the bad too. And it was a lot. It was very triggering early on. She was asking me for money. She was all over the place. And, you know, eventually I had to like slowly kind of like see her in doses where it's like when I have the energy, I'll make time to see you, because it was just a lot of trauma and trigger about stuff that she hasn't healed from that had nothing to do with me. And I'm already coming from my own mess and my own junk with the adopted family. And I'm just like, I didn't need this. But I'm very grateful for the opportunity that we did have, even when she was on her way out and the time that I spent with her in the hospital. Again, that'll be another episode. Just very grateful for the little bit I was able to have, and how highly people spoke about her. She was very creative. I'm creative. She actually went to college and got an education. She's very loving and caring, and I probably get that from her. Over giver, I probably get that from her. She's a Cancer just like me, blah, blah, blah. So biggest thing, man, is if you're praying for love or to be married, if you're praying for your finances to get better, if you're praying for your dream to come true, if you're praying for like to move to a new city or state or country, you're praying for a new job, just understand everything happens on God's timing, and it needs to happen that way. Because if I would have found her when I was in freshman year of college, or when I was a teenager or a kid and those kind of things, who knows what that could have done to me or how that could have scarred me. So God always knows what's best. He's never late, always on time, like they like to say. And just very grateful for the opportunity I was able to meet her. So her name is Agent Dolores Roberts. They call her AKA Didi. And definitely miss you, Ma. Definitely love you. Appreciate you in this short time that we had together. She sent me a lot of messages throughout the years when I was kind of like isolating myself from everybody. And she would just always send these messages of how proud she was, because she saw my videos on IG. She saw me teaching. She saw me sharing my story. And she did say that she messed up on a lot of things in life, but one thing that she's very grateful for that she got right was me. And I want to continue just speaking my truth, sharing my message, and be a great role model for those who are going through certain things. And when it's time for me to be a dad and husband, for sure, I'm gonna be the best man at it, man. Like, for sure, I'm gonna take that fully on. So other than that, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I wanted this to be more of a shorter video. And oh shoot, I forgot to say before I end. Dang, man, I did it again, YouTube. I gotta start like writing down my script. I'll say this, and I'll actually I'll post a video, because I'm not gonna take my shirt off right here. So the crazy thing about this, 7 or 9 days before I like did the whole Facebook thing and found my mom, I got my first tattoo. I got my first tattoo on my chest. That thing sucked. I ain't gonna lie. I told you, like, I started to lose hope that I was never gonna find her. And I came up with my like own little quote. And it was, living in this world has been a blessing, but not knowing who brought me here is a constant headache I still deal with to this day. And I'm like, I want to get that tatted. I want that to be my first tattoo. And what I did was I had the guy put like a little kid on a bench by himself and like clouds. And I put like a start date and an expiration date. So the start date, I think I put, my bad, I don't need to be showing no nipple. I think I put her birthday, and I think I put the end date. I put her birthday, and I think I put the end date my birthday. Because my vision for the tattoo was that the last day she saw me had to be the day I was born, because obviously they probably let her hold me for a little bit and they got to wash the blood off me. Like, I don't know how that looks, but I took that as that was my last day I saw my mom. So the reason I put that as the end date, like the day of death, was because it's just like, if I never meet her, that would be the day that when I last saw her, or something like that. And I got that tattoo on me, and 9 days later, I found her. Like, you can't tell me God is like funny like that. So other than that, y'all, I got a podcast tonight. 7 p.m. We're talking about self-sabotaging habits on the Talk That Shift podcast. If you watched my YouTube video today, come through, show support. No bonnet today, no hat. I'm very insecure about me being bald, but I want to be real. I want to show people the realness of me. And I hope you enjoy episode 4 of How I Found My Mom. I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Keep God first. And I'ma holla.